progress? The week seems to go so much better after a good result like that.
Yeah, I think it's been quite a good few weeks really, apart from results. So it's nice to get the win, but it doesn't mean you'll change anything or relax. As I spoke about it previously when we weren't particularly getting the results that we were wanting. And I'd like to think that it hasn't changed. You don't get carried away. It's one win. You just got to make sure that you keep continuing to do the right things, which you have done in recent weeks, in order to back that up.
That result and performance has been coming for a couple of weeks. Is it hard to maintain the mood now, or does it just take care of itself?
I think it helps and it aids, and I think you draw confidence to that magical word in football from it. And there was some very, very good individual performances, but ultimately it was as good a team performance as we've certainly had in recent times.
All the talk and all the hype has been about Varney and his 4 goals, but you sit back and look at it again, like Reece Brown's delivery from the set pieces, George Miller's goal, confidence from Scott Burgess, there was loads of it.
Yeah, I think, rightly so, James grabs the headlines and to score 4 goals in 20 minutes, it's quite a feat anyway. To score 4 goals in a game is so. It's understandable why people always wanted a piece of him, but the pleasing thing is James is first to sort of thank everybody, for that, and giving him the opportunity, even for the ones that he missed.
And that's the next one. I would imagine with the players' sense of humour and the banter around, he's taken a bit of flack this week for the ones he missed.
I said after the game, it's a goal scorer's life. I think they've got to be so single-minded to understand that they are going to miss chances, and they've got to take the next one. And James is no different. He's done that since a very young age, and it sort of breeds through. And that's something that himself and Tom sort of breed into the youngsters. George Miller's, etc. Anthony Dudley's, who's gone away and he's scoring on loan now at Macclesfield. It's pleasing that they get that understanding of what a goal scorer's life is.
Speculation all throughout the week about young players leaving, players coming in. Has there been any progress, any movement?
There always is, Gordon, as I say, and I think it shows that you have been playing well in recent weeks with performances, purely and simply because there's an awful lot of interest in all our players, young and old. The key to any kind of management, and the club is making sure we manage that correctly as well. So yeah, there's the years at this time. Everybody understands this window is only open until the end of the month. So we've just got to make sure that the ins and the outs are correct at that, and that's the key. As I said, as the window opened, I've got to make sure it's right when it closes. The squad has to be right to see us through for the final 6 months, and that's how it's changed. So it'll be no different. There's a lot of speculation, but while it is still speculation, that's all it is.
There's only another 12 days left in this window. Is it a case of get the window closed and just crack on then?
Yeah, I think, as I say, you try and do as much as you possibly can early on. Bizarrely, it'll go right to the wire. It always has, it always will. I don't know why, but it does. And I think it's sometimes, with it falling on a Tuesday this time, there'll be injuries at weekends. People suddenly think, crikey me, we need to do this. Some teams will probably push the noses into playoffs and think, come on, let's have a go. Football can change very, very quickly in a short period of time, so it's not going to change. As I say, it's something that we're new to in respect of this year with the loan market, but it's one that I feel we're prepared for in this sort of window. With
the changes, thinking changed on the way you go into a transfer window?
Yeah, it has to, because you understand where sometimes you would you'd be quite comfortable doing a 20-year day and having a look at somebody. If it didn't quite work, you think the player's not right. So it has to be right. It has to be a right fit. You've got to understand, whether they're coming in to be starting, whether they're coming in to still develop, and you've got to have if it is a loan, you've got to understand that the other parent club is happy with what you're trying to do with them as well. If it's a permanent, obviously it's different. But ultimately, you've got to look realistically at the position that you find ourselves in, and what the objectives are. And I'm quite comfortable with the current squad, what we've got, that we'll achieve those. But if there is somebody who can make us better out there, that's the type of calibre we'll be looking for.
Injury-wise, how's Taylor Moore? Is it serious?
It hasn't fully settled, so we don't know the full extent of it. And it's something that he's not been used to as well, so everybody will calm down at different rates and not. So We just got to really assess it daily just to see where he's at. It hasn't fully settled in respect of knowing what the full extent is. So fingers crossed it isn't as bad as we did fear at the time when he come off, but we will know just more as that sort of takes time. Hopefully it'll be sooner rather